Hey, how y'all doing? I've just stopped off at Gretna Green at the famous blacksmith shop, which is very famous for weddings. And I've got a challenge for you. If you find someone really special, even if you've just met them for like a week or two, I challenge you to come here to Gretna Green, like they used to do in the old days, and get married. Even if you're really young, just go and get married. Does that sound scary to you? Well, it might do, right? But if you think about the history of Gretna Green and where it all started here at this blacksmith shop, it all started when the 1754 Marriage Act was placed, and it forbidded anyone under the age of 21 to get married without the consent of the parents. So what used to happen was all the young people used to sort of run over here in back in the day and go and get married really early because it was the only place that they could do it, because the laws in Scotland were very different. And Gretna, literally being a few minutes over the border, meant that they became very famous. They used to come here to the blacksmith shop and get what's called an anvil wedding. And the idea was that if you both touched the anvil, you got luck and it blessed your marriage with luck. And just thinking about that, how historically relationships were confirmed with marriage. So it was almost like back in them days, that what we're talking there, the 16th century, the 18th century, where, and even earlier than that, a relationship wasn't a relationship until you was married. So that's how they used to confirm a relationship, and people used to get married very young because they've met someone and they used to give it a go. And then until very recently, for the vast, let's say for the last 20 years or so, relationships were confirmed in a discussion. You had an exclusivity discussion, decided to go exclusive and not date other people, and then therefore you confirm the relationship. What's happened today, there's this weird thing that you might have heard of called a situationship, where many people now, whilst there's a lot of people single, and this video's not about how many people are single and who's dating who. So with the situationship, a lot of people will just date and never have an exclusivity discussion, or never even talk about getting exclusive, or even ask about are they even dating other people. It's just, and that's quite common now, and that's weird if you think about how we've confirmed relationships from marriage, even often very early to the first person you meet, down to having several relationships and confirming it with a exclusive relationship, an actual label. So now in a situation where you've got this situationship, but there's not even a label on it. It's a very strange situation we find ourselves in, where it's not even discussed now, the exclusivity arrangement. And why is that? Well, if you think about the way that society's gone, everything is very driven by short term. It's all about the economy and short term gratification, short term validation. Everything, you can get a new one tomorrow. You think about the social media age. So we've all got our views on marriage, and my own view on marriage is probably not worth it for most people, especially if you're a guy. It's just the way it is, the way that the current marriage situation is. It's a bad deal, but it shouldn't be that way, it's just not many people are relationship focused. If you were to get married today, I mean, you'd have to really, really, really study that contract and put in a decent. You'd have to create a prenuptial agreement and hope that you can work things out. And why is that? We've all got this fear of relationships not working out. You could say it's society, obviously, with everything being throwaway and short-term validation, short-term gratification. No one wants to actually work at something as a achievable goal, as being part of the problem. But what I would say is, committing to a relationship is the hardest game in the world, right? So there are people out there, I'm not shitting on being single. So I'm not criticizing being single, because I think there's a lot of benefits to being single. You can date when you want, you've got a lot of freedom, and you can make your own decisions. It's nice to sort of wake up and sleep on your own and get a good night's sleep and wake up and do what you want. All that's good, and I think the choice of being single is a good choice. However, there's another thing, there's another option that people tend to choose, which is dating multiple people. And whilst, if you go through a phase where you date multiple people, I think that's fine. Dating multiple people can be fun, but it's also quite shallow and vacuous, and eventually you'll get tired of that. You know, the idea of if you're a guy spinning multiple plates, it is fun, but you'll get tired of it. You know what I mean? And eventually it'll just wear you down. There's a lot of, it takes a lot of energy out of you. And same, a lot of women now are dating multiple guys, and you never get anywhere. Whilst it's fun, I don't think it's fulfilling, and I don't think anyone truly likes it. So why do people avoid relationships? Well, I think there are many reasons. One is what we discussed, society and the way that things are now with social media and the fact that there's so many options available, at least for some people. But another big factor, I think, is there is a genuine fear of getting hurt. Also, not investing in a relationship is also a form of avoidance, right? Think about it. There's fears, fear of losing your freedom, fear of getting hurt. And also another one is fear of success. One thing that Freud said was behind every dream is a fear of that dream coming true. Whether you've been through some hurt, maybe you've been married before and it's not worked out and it's destroyed your life or whatever, then, or maybe it turned out for the worst. You may have a fear of doing that again. And but if you ask me, I think we should all be a bit more pro relationship. My friend Chris, who would do the live streams with, shout out to Chris, by the way, he came up with a brilliant term for this. He said, when people avoid getting into relationships, he said they should eat the vegetables. Eat your vegetables. What a brilliant term. So what he meant by that was like, we eat our vegetables because we know it's good for us, right? If we let our emotions drive, we'd just be eating ice cream and chocolate and sweets. But no, we eat our vegetables. We force ourselves to eat our vegetables. And you could say that about a relationship because although you might fear getting into one, right? If you were actually to give it a go and really give it a shot, you'd have to push past your fears. And just like I say in any of the farming habits, same thing here. You have to push past the pain barrier and that fear of risking yourself, being vulnerable and getting hurt to build a relationship. Because if you do that, you build a relationship, you'll build something a bit more meaningful and and long lasting, and you'll have a more fulfilling life. You'll have probably a better chance of having a fulfilled life than you will on the constant dating merry-go-round. So yeah, be pro relationship and eat your vegetables. Hope you like that one. Don't forget to like it and subscribe. See you all next time.